Hola, bienvenidos a otra sesión de Satchel Classes. Soy Mr. Castrillón and I would like to welcome you to another session here on Satchel Classes. Today's lesson is meant for Key Stage 3, 4, particularly Key Stage 4 because it's going to be a really interesting lesson to improve our speaking and writing exercises. The lesson is called Estar Carísimo y hoy vamos a repasar diferentes adjetivos. Vamos a aprender a utilizar el sufijo ísimo. Vamos a mejorar oraciones en español y vamos a completar y traducir textos al inglés. So today's lesson is going to be really important because we are going to learn how to kind of emphasize the idea behind an adjective. Now we can do that with words like very or too much, but in Spanish we do have an ending, and that's the suffix ísimo. And we use this a lot in Spanish. So you'll have to become really familiar with the ending and how it sounds. And that's what we're going to do today. But before we do anything, we are going to practice our pronunciation. And the sound today is th. Th. So please do repeat after me after I pronounce the word. Zapato. Zapato. Abrazo. Abrazo. Zoológico. Zoológico. Zanahoria. Zanahoria. Fugaz. Fugaz. Now, we do have a different pronunciation for each one of those words. In Latin American Spanish, each word will sound like this: zapato, abrazo, zoológico, zanahoria, fugaz. Notice that the sound is slightly different from the previous one, and this is only because it's the way how it sounds in Latin America. You are more than welcome to choose the one that you prefer. Now, I'm going to give you 60 seconds to try and work out the meaning for each one of those words. Off you go. Okay, let's see the answers. Shoe, hug, zoo, carrot, brief. Now, before we move on, check the pronunciation of the word carrot in Spanish. Zanahoria. It's a long word, lots of vowels there, and it's a good one to kind of have in your toolkit of words to show off your Spanish. Let's move on. Now, we have a group of adjectives here, and we need to match them up with their meanings. So we have frío, caliente, caro, pesado, costoso, barato, interesante, e importante. Now, the options are here in red, in yellow, and I'm going to give you a few seconds to match them up. Off you go. Okay, our time is up. Let's see the answers. Take a picture of them so we can actually use them on our next slide. Also check that we have two words for expensive in Spanish, caro and costoso. Now then, we need to make some sentences and we need to translate these ones into English. We are using the same vocabulary that we used in the previous slide. So I'm going to give you a few seconds for you to translate these ones into English. Off you go. And our time is up. Now, remember that you are more than welcome to take pictures of these answers so you can use them in your daily Spanish lessons. Here we are. El día está frío, the day is cold. El café está caliente, the cup of coffee is hot. Esta camisa está cara, this shirt is expensive. Mi mochila está pesada, my bag is heavy. Los libros están baratos, the books are cheap. Esa película es interesante, this film is interesting. Estudiar español es importante, studying Spanish is important. Now then, our next mission is really simple. We need to improve sentences by using one of the words in the box, and those are these ones here. We have muy, demasiado o demasiada, un poco, bastante. Now, for instance, we have the sentence el día está frío. So we can actually improve that sentence by saying el día está muy frío. I could also say el día está demasiado frío o el día está un poco frío. O el día está bastante frío. So it depends on what you want to do. If you want to improve or emphasize the idea of coldness, you can use any of these four words. Now, your mission is really simple. We need to improve these sentences by using one of the words in the box. Off you go. And your time is up. Let's see what options we can actually get out of this. We can actually have bastante frío o muy caliente o bastante cara, muy pesada, and so on. Remember that you're more than welcome to use any options out of the four ones that we have. You could say el día está muy frío, or you could say mi mochila está demasiado pesada. Now then, in Spanish, we do have a different way to emphasize the idea of an adjective. We may add ísimo at the end of the adjective to improve our sentences. This is very common in Spanish and it improves your speaking and writing. It makes you sound more natural. So, for instance, the word frío becomes friísimo, or the word caliente becomes calientísimo. So what we do is we change or we take the last letter of that adjective and we add isimo or isima if it is a feminine word that you're trying to describe. Now we have all these sentences here. El día está friísimo. So we are going to basically take all of these sentences and we are going to turn them into, or we are going to emphasize the idea that each adjective is trying to convey. So I'm going to give you some time to change those sentences into a more emphasized version of themselves. Off you go. And time is up. How did it go? Before I show you the answer for this exercise, I want to make it clear that we have many more options to do this. So, for instance, we could say calentote. So, all of these are options that we have in Spanish. So, it's really important to remember that sometimes we might use this ending, but there are other endings. So, feel free to ask your teacher to give you more ideas or more information about how to improve or emphasize adjectives by using suffixes like this, ísimo. Grande, for instance, is another example. You can say grandísimo or grandote. And these two are valid in Spanish. However, not all the adjectives will accept this ending. For instance, the word increíble won't give you a chance to say incrediblísimo because it sounds really heavy in Spanish. So we try to avoid that one. Okay, now then, let's see the answers for this exercise. Here we go. As you can see, we added isimo or isima, depending where the word was masculine or feminine, but we also had to add a plural, like libros baratísimos. Let's continue. Now then, last task of the day, we need to translate the sentences into Spanish by including ísimo. Off you go. Okay, and our time is up for this exercise. Let's see the answers. Feel free to take a picture of these slides and always use these endings and these sentences and of course these adjectives with this emphasizing suffix because your writing or your speaking is going to sound more natural and it's going to give you a lot more marks. In the meantime, muchos éxitos y hasta muy pronto.